Maybe all those cliches about Canadians being excessively polite are true, after all. New research about customer service complaints finds that almost half of Canadians switched retailers or service providers because of a bad experience. But only 17% of them use social media to post negative comments. That's far less than the global average of 28%. Berkley Warburton is Managing Director of Customer Strategy at Accenture. She's in Las Vegas today presenting at a conference. So Berkley, maybe you could tell us a little bit about this study overall and what you were looking at in the study.
Sure. So this is a piece of research that we do every year with the goal of measuring some of the trends in terms of customers' experiences. And this particular year in Canada, we found some very marked differences between the Canadian data and the global data.
All right, and one of them seems to be about how polite we are, or how much less likely we are to complain. Why is that, do you think?
Yeah, so we saw that 17% of Canadians were more likely to post about negative experiences online compared to 28% globally. As we thought about that, we thought that perhaps it had something to do with the fact that Canadians are a quieter and more polite culture. We like to save face, and we don't like embarrassment, which can lead to some of the silence that you might see in terms of our interactions.
But now, were you just looking at social media as a means to complain? Because I'm thinking there's probably a lot of people out there who just aren't even on social media, right? I mean, not everybody is on Facebook or Twitter or all these other different sorts of sites where you can make your displeasure known.
That's right. So the research looked across multiple channels. It wasn't necessarily just related to social media. But if you think about Canadians, we're the ones that will quietly eat that overcooked steak at a restaurant and not send it back.
Well, I don't know. I have sent, maybe I'm high maintenance, I'm admitting something here. But I'm curious, though, why you're highlighting social media. Like you're saying there are other channels as well where Canadians were less likely to complain?
Well, so in other channels, for example, we saw that 71% of Canadians prefer personalized in-store experiences, which was about 10% higher than the global. So Canadians, I mean, we're a very digitally enabled country. We're some of the highest users of the internet in the world. So it's up to companies to ensure that they're bridging the gap between those digital experiences and the personalized human experiences as well.
So what are you saying, people preferred to complain in person?
No, I think what we're finding is that Canadians as a whole are not complaining as much as some of the global numbers that we saw.
But I mean, I've heard many stories over the years that companies are really being quite vigilant in monitoring their social media so that they can then follow up with people. They see their name, being basically run down publicly, and that people even here on our team have said, oh, I got a call because I made this complaint on social media and I got satisfaction.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful avenue for getting some immediate feedback and pulse from your customers. I just read a Harvard Business Review article this morning about Rogers they've opened up a new channel to respond to customers on Facebook, and that's going very well for them. I think the research shows that Canadians are less likely to be vocal, which actually is a bit of a threat for Canadian companies. The detractors are the ones that are noisy and are posting on Facebook or making their opinions known very broadly. But that represents a small percentage of the customer base. The reality is that the larger set of unhappy customers are the ones that are actually not doing anything at all.
Right, so the silent majority is suffering in silence, so to speak.
Yes.
Now, I saw one of your conclusions is that companies really should be investing more in analytical tools and, I suppose, expertise like your company sells. That's one of your recommendations?
Exactly. So we're in a very unique time where the technology does actually exist to identify and troubleshoot some of those negative experiences across the channels, and analytics plays a very critical role in that.
Right, although, I mean, it sounds like consumers are the ones that need the consulting help to get out there and make their opinions known a little more often, perhaps.
Well, yeah, you know, squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Right. Okay, well, thank you very much for being with us.